and welcome to Love Letters. Love Letters are a collection of love stories of people get lost, get crazy in the name of love. Another week, another great episode. How to engage a genuine love, affection to a broken mended relationship. Miss Karen, how are you?
I'm so blessed. Thank you for asking, Daniel. I'm looking forward to the readers hearing this letter we've got.
Yes, with no further ado, Miss Karen, can you please read to us?
My pleasure. Dear Daniel and Karen, I'm writing to you with a heart that feels both hopeful and fragile. I was once in a relationship that meant everything to me. We went through a painful season that nearly broke us apart. But somehow, through apologies, reflection, and time, we found our way back to each other. The problem is, even though we are back, something still feels delicate, like a vase carefully glued together. It stands, but you can still see the cracks. I truly care about this person. I don't want temporary affection or surface level peace. I want something deeper, genuine love, steady affection, and emotional safety. Yet I sometimes struggle with fear. I question whether the warmth I feel is real or just nostalgia, wondering if I can trust fully and it can fully return after being shaken. How do you re engage love after hurt without constantly revisiting the pain? It's an excellent question. How do you rebuild affection so it feels natural instead of forced? I don't want to love cautiously forever, but I also don't want to ignore the lessons the breakup taught us. What practical steps can we take to restore emotional intimacy in a healthy way? How do we communicate without reopening wounds? And most importantly, how do we know if what we're rebuilding is strong or simply comfortable? I believe broken things can be mended beautifully. I just don't know how to move from repaired to renewed. I would truly appreciate your wisdom on how to nurture a love that feels safe, sincere, and lasting. With hope, a heart that wants to love again. Yes, I'd love to hear your response to that, Daniel. I'm sure as Daniel is talking about it right now,
Yes, sorry for that.
there you go.
Sorry for that. Yes, listener. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. And for sure, our listener or viewers, or listeners or viewers will be empowered. So, building love begins with truth. Not harsh truth used as a weapon, but gentle honesty delivered with emotional maturity. Both partners must be willing to say, "This hurt me," and also, "This what I need now." Without honesty, affection becomes performance instead of connection. We
That's
don't like
really good.
we
That's
don't yes, we don't like to be an actor or an actresses. So be real and connect.
yes. And it's such a good question. How do you start over when you've been in so much pain? And I've got a very close relationship that went through infidelity in the marriage, and even though, as this reader listener is saying, you can forgive, you can get repentance, you can be restored, but how do you return to what you had when it's been broken? And I've been a potter for decades, and there is a Japanese technique where they take a precious vessel that's been broken, and they actually use precious metals and refire the vessel after they have glued it back together with gold and silver in the seams. And when it's all put back together, it still, instead of ignoring the cracks, as you're describing, Daniel, being honest about it, they're actually turning those cracks into something beautiful. And I think that this is probably where your relationship is. Yes, you've chosen to forgive. Yes, you've chosen to be restored, but it still feels like you're walking on eggshells and you're not being natural with each other. And as Daniel is describing, being real says, I'm still struggling with this, is to be honest and to admit that I want to be closer and closer, and it's just going to take more time and a lot of prayer.
Indeed, lots of prayer. Because if your marriage is the God is the center of the marriage, for sure it will mend those broken heart. You are not restoring the old relationship. You are building a new one. The past version failed for a reason. Instead of trying to recreate what once was, ask yourself what was changed for this new chapter to succeed. Renewal requires redesign.
That's good. That's really good. And I think that it's not going to be the same. You're older now, you've experienced some troubles, but it still can be deep and restored. And I know that. I know that's a fact. Um, Even in my own marriage, we had some very rough years. And I honestly didn't know if we were going to reach the kind of closeness and intimacy that has we've developed into. So I would say be patient. Don't be in a hurry. And don't, as Daniel is describing, don't be an actor. Be real about it. And compensate for the trust with accountability, allowing yourself to be accountable, and hopefully your partner is allowing themselves to be accountable, so that there is a rebuilding of trust. So you're not keeping secrets, you're not hiding things. Whatever was causing um, the difficulties between you can be mended, but it has to be both of you working it. And as we describe prayer, it can happen between you, with you, and together.
Yes, indeed. Trust is not rebuilt through promises, but through patterns. Small, reliable action repeated over time create safety. Show up when you say you will. Follow through. Stability restores emotional confidence. Healing does not follow a straight line. Some days will feel light, others will reopen old emotions. Do not shame each other like lingering pain. Make a room for feelings without letting them control the relationship.
You know what you're talking about are feelings. And yes, we want all the glow of being in love, but there is something deep that can happen between a couple that prays together. We've talked about this before, and that closeness can be down to the soul level, to the spiritual level. It's not superficial, what Daniel and I are talking about. It's something deeper. And if this was lacking in your relationship before, maybe this is something that can help you be restored. What things can you find to do together? What was fun before? Can you be do those activities again that can cause you to enjoy each other's company more? Make choices that put your partner first, that aren't just about your own feelings, but how can you please them? How can you make them feel secure? How can you make them feel that they have your total attention and affection? Let there be eye contact. Give them undivided attention. And that means putting down these devices sometimes, to really spend some quality time that isn't easily distracted.
Mm, certainly. Well, listener, After a rupture, partners often overanalyze behavior instead of assuming ask, "What do you mean by that?" With a good tone. What do you mean by that? Or it will bring chaos. It depends the way you ask. What do you mean by that? That's much simpler ask question, and is far healthier than silent resentment, or called silent treatment. My goodness. Clarity prevents unnecessary emotional distance. And of course, affection deepens when emotional safety returns first. You spend time taking without distraction, as Miss Karen talking about. Ask meaningful questions. Learn who your partner is now, not who they were before the break.
That is really good advice. What are you going to do now? What makes you feel closer now to each other? What kind of activities? What kind of affections? Sometimes, I mean, the truth is, we don't think alike. Men and women have their brains wired differently. And I remember I was talking to my husband about the old book, Men Are From Mars, Women from Venus, and how what a great book that was decades ago, talking about that this very thing. We just don't think the same. We think we have our priorities, but they're not always in line. And so even the best relationships take work to understand, and sometimes it's easier to get our feelings hurt when that wasn't what was intended at all. And so getting to know your partner again, you fell in love for a reason, you've forgiven each other, you've gone through some hard things together, and that can create its own bond. You've been through hard things. So now that you're through those hard things, do the little things that matter to each other, that create that affection, that create that special uniqueness that you once experienced, but now you can experience with a new depth. It's part of your story. And it can be a very beautiful story, not just about the pain, but about the overcoming, the redemption of your relationship, the being better because of it, even. And, there's a scripture that says, count it all joy at the various trials and temptations that come to try us, because the Lord sees us through them all. And this is a time to really pull on your spiritual strength of Holy Spirit to say, Lord, help me to love her more. I know that was a secret that my husband has used as he sought the Lord. He said, I don't know how to love her. Love her through me. And I promise you, it is such a beautiful, anointed experience when someone has submitted themselves to God to love you. It's precious and beautiful.
Precious indeed. You may decide to forgive, but your emotions may lag behind. This is normal. True forgiveness unfolds gradually as the new experiences override a painful memories. Be patient with yourself. Patient is virtue, as they said. So healthy love thrives within a clear expectations. Discuss what behaviors are no longer acceptable. Boundaries are not punishments. They are protections for both people.
That's true. That is so true. Even little children sometimes rebel against boundaries, but the truth is that does keep them safe. And these same boundaries can help your relationship be safe. And the truth is, everything wasn't perfect, or there wouldn't be have been this fracture, whatever the fracture was. And so as you start new, you don't want to repeat the fractures, you want to learn from them and really evaluate how to love better, because the root of a good, close, bonded relationship is unconditional love. And quite frankly, that's above and beyond human love. It is a supernatural love that we have access to through God, and all of us do. We can love in beautiful ways, deeper and deeper, with this kind of crying out for help and saying, help me love them. Because guess what? You can't outgive God. They're going to love you deeper back. It's just
Mhm.
eventually going to happen. And as Daniel said, patience, interesting, another translation of the word patience is long suffering because it may take a while to build that trust. We earn
Mm.
respect, we earn trust. Be trustworthy, be respectful, and you will find it will be returned.
It will be returned for sure. Take time and long suffering, as Miss Karen saying. If you choose to rebuild, you must resist the urge to revisit old mistakes during a new disagreements. Growth requires forward movement. Continuously reopening settled wounds prevents renewal. And memories tied to pain can dominate the emotional landscape as well. Counterbalance them with fresh, positive experiences. Travel somewhere new. Try something different. Laugh together again. New joy rewrites the emotional narrative.
That's good. Laugh together.
Yes.
Another thing, don't bring it up. If it's forgiven, throw it into that sea of forgetfulness and do not bring it up. Don't mention it. Unless there's something that's unresolved that needs to be talked about, you certainly don't bring it up in front of anybody else. You don't talk about it behind their back. You really, truly lift the other person up because we can feel it when we're being pulled down. Speak
Mm.
life, speak love, speak encouragement, and speak positivity over the way your relationship is growing and moving.
Very well said. Miss Karen, you need an applause for that. Very well said. So empowering. Broken relationship often collapse from feeling unseen. Make appreciation intentional. Acknowledge effort, recognize growth, and gratitude nurtures affection. Don't forget to say thank you for everything. Sometimes we forget. So gratitude is please, please remind yourself. Be thankful. Yeah. Be thankful in everything. Listening is not waiting to respond. It's absorbing, understanding, and validating. When your partner feels heard, defensiveness decrease and vulnerability increases.
That's really good. That is really, really good. And don't be afraid to say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own gratifying thing to say, I love you. And it is empowering and it's worth it. Even if you said it yesterday, say it today. It's not, we, especially we women, you can't say it to us too much. As long as it's backed with some good behavior, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Life is too short, people. So seize your day, especially you are go together. Goes together that make your relationship stick more, make bonding. And ask yourself, am I rebuilding from love or from loneliness? Or are we connecting because we have grown or because we fear starting over? Motivation determines sustainability. Ask those questions, and most of them is yes. Probably decide what is good for the relationship. There's no need to rush back into intensity. Let affection redevelop organically, I should say. I
Yes,
always mispronounce it. Organically.
there you go.
Emotional security depends when pressure is removed.
That's so good. Yeah, not putting so much pressure on each other, letting it
Yeah.
evolve and understand that this process, we're in it together. We've made the decision to reconcile. We've made this decision to walk together. And even if it feels like a three-legged race sometimes, it's still worth it. And you will never
Yes.
be sorry. You will not regret this effort. I know there was a point when my first marriage could have been reconciled. And I got a real insight and shared what, when I was asked, well, what do you think we should do? And I laid it out and I said, this is what we should do. And when he heard me, he just kind of smirked and said, I don't want to work that hard. I mean, he regrets it. I don't mean to bring it up now that it doesn't matter anymore. But the truth is, you have to decide that we are going to work on this together. Because, as anybody tells you, a good relationship is worth working on. It's literally the most important relationship on the planet. And it's worth whatever it takes. Just like, did you do whatever it took to get a raise at work? Did you do whatever it took to win the race? Do whatever it takes to make your spouse trust you again or to find ways to trust them again. It works both ways. And from the beginning, Daniel has said, be honest and communicate what's going on. Don't let them guess. Don't let them be mind readers because we won't do it right. We'll make mistakes.
Honesty is the best policy, people.
Yeah.
And don't guess, communicate. Not think that we are not psychic. Okay? We cannot read what you're thinking about. Winning arguments does not strengthen love. Protect the emotional climate of the relationship. When safety preserved, affection grows naturally. Intense emotion is not the only maker of love. Look for calmness, stability, and a mutual respect. Sustainable love often feels peaceful and dramatic.
That's true. And we
Yes.
are looking for more peace, even as we want to be exciting and thrilling and interesting. Wow, there's nothing like being with somebody who you are at peace with together. And it is so powerful. And I know I'm older, and it is something that I do appreciate and value in a long-term marriage is peace together.
Peace and peace and peace. And listener, love after brokenness is intentional. It requires a daily recommitment, not a grand gesture, but a small, consistent decisions to show kindness, patience, and care. When both partners consciously choose one another, cracks can become part of the stronger foundation.
Excellently said, Daniel. Perfectly said. So we say all this to encourage you, and we thank you for your letter. It was so beautifully written, and we're grateful for all of our listeners and any that have questions for us. We welcome them, don't we, Daniel?
Yes, we are open for everything. Please do write us, email us, or, well, we have this option that you can just record your voice and we can hear it. And then if you suggest that we do this, we do that, for sure. We will do it because without you, we are nothing. Thank you, listeners. And Miss Karen, would you like to plug in something?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel and I have other podcasts that we do together besides Love Letters. We also do uh, Coaching 101. We do Parenting 101, Positive Parenting, and we do l- Bible Verses 101.
Yes, Bible verses. For parenting, positive parenting 101 is not yet published on the podcast, but we are live every Saturday. So please tune in, people. But the rest, love letters, Bible verses 101, and these love letters are available where you listen your podcast. And for also for the coaching 101 is already available where you listen your podcast. So please do support us and listen to us, email to us, and rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen your podcast. It helps us. Write some comments, please. If you love the show, please We have a lot of shows coming too as well. So, Miss Karen, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my privilege and pleasure. Thank you, Daniel. And listeners, just remember we love you and God bless you.
Welcome, people. See you soon.